Skip the trial and error. Here's a clear Blender reusable workflow to turn any text into smooth 3D. Welcome to this tutorial on using text in Blender geometry nodes. Let's start by opening Blender. We'll first split the window to open the geometry node editor. Click New to create a new geometry node tree. Now, delete the default group input node. We won't be using it in this setup. Add a string to curve node. This will convert our text string into curve data. Connect the curve output of this node to the geometry input of the group output node. Next, type your text into the string field of the string to curve node. Now, let's add a resample curve node to control the resolution of the curve. Insert it between the string to curve node and the group output. Notice the text looks jagged, not very smooth. Change the mode from count to length in the resample curve node. Then reduce the length value from 0.1 to 0.01 to improve the smoothness further. Now insert a fill curve node between the resample curve and the group output. This should give your text some filled geometry. Next, add a curve to mesh node, right after the fill curve node. Oops, we see a warning. Input geometry has unsupported type, mesh. That's because curve to mesh expects a curve, not a filled mesh. Let's delete the fill curve node. It's not compatible here. Now add a set material node after the resample curve node. Switch over to the shader editor to create a new material. Configure a blue metallic material. You can use a principal BSDF with high metallic and low roughness. Go back to the geometry node editor and assign this new material in the set material node. It's a good moment to save your project. Remember to save frequently to avoid losing work in case Blender crashes. Use Ctrl+S as a shortcut. Let's render an image to check the lighting and camera position. Split the top window to open the camera view in the top right panel. Press Shift+A and add an empty, plain axis object. We'll use this to help aim the camera easily. Position the empty object where you want the camera to focus. You can press G and move it freely, or use the transform panel on the right. Back in the geometry node editor, add an extrude mesh node between the set material node and the group output. Set the extrude value from 1 down to 0.3 to make it thinner. You'll notice the backs of the letters are missing. Add a flip faces node. Connect it to the geometry output from set material. Now add a join geometry node before the group output. Combine the normal and flip geometry to make both sides visible. To adjust orientation, add a transform geometry node and rotate it 90 degrees along the x-axis. Now set up the camera angle for a clean and centered view of the text. Reposition the empty object to make sure the text appears in the middle of the camera view. Render the image again to double-check light balance and alignment. Note, we're not using real-time preview due to hardware limits. Adjust the light source position to better illuminate the text. Render the image again to see the improvements. Looks good. Once rendering is complete, you can save the image as a PNG from the image menu. That wraps up our tutorial on generating and rendering text using Blender geometry nodes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more playlists on Christopedia, where science meets visuals.